All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the July regular meeting of the Hoboken Board of Education. Filling in for our board secretary tonight is Ms. Donna Perez, who will read the statement of compliance tonight.
Okay, good evening. The meeting is held in conformity to the Open Public Meeting Act. Proper public notice of the meeting was published in the local papers on July 21st, 2018 and July 22nd, 2018. The Hoboken Reporter had the incorrect start time date, and it was corrected on their website and through board docs. If any board member or member of the public in attendance believes that this meeting is in violation of the Open Public Meetings Act, the Hoboken Board of Education requests that they make a statement at this time. The board wishes to make those in attendance aware that this meeting is being recorded on video and will be broadcasted by the board at a later date on cable television channel 77 and Fios channel 46. The full meeting recording will also be made available on board docs, which can be accessed through the district homepage. The Hoboken Board of Education is committed to preserving the decorum of the public process and is mindful that we live in the electronic age of computers, cell phones, and other electronic communication devices. Nevertheless, we respectfully request that all meeting participants kindly silence their electronic devices during the course of the meeting, and if use of the device is necessary, we ask that you please leave the meeting room if you need to conduct personal business. Please stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the roll call, please.
Ms. Delara?
Here.
Ms. Connor?
Here.
Ms. Sobolov?
Here.
Mr. Carrion?
Here.
Mr. Klufel?
Here. We have a quorum.
Yes.
There are no student recognitions this month, so we move right to the superintendent's report.
Okay. Good evening. My superintendent's report this evening will consist of congratulatory remarks. As you can see, that there are a number of administrative personnel changes in the district. However, prior to delivering those remarks, I would like to report out on a few important items. District-wide, I first would like to announce that our K through 12 enrollment for the 2018-2019 school year as of today is currently up 256 students. In preparation for this influx, we have staffed accordingly. Currently, we are seeking one nurse for our preschool program, one STEM teacher, and one Spanish teacher. But other than that, we've been hard at work all summer interviewing, and we are fully staffed otherwise. Our new staff will be participating in a new teacher orientation on August 27th for a full day and for a half day on August 28th, and we are in the process of finalizing plans for both of those days. Our new LEAP program begins next Monday. There are between 125 and 100 students participating in that program each week. Our Red Wings sports summer clinics will also begin next week. In the first week, our swim clinic is full, but we do still have room in our girls basketball clinic. These programs begin at 6 o'clock in the evening for the sports programs, and they will run until 9 o'clock p.m. Our Passport to Learning after school program is laid out for September, and registration will open soon. We'll be operating a kindergarten through second grade program and a grades 3 through 5 program which are going to actually operate in the same time frame and structure as in the past. However, we've decided to roll out a new program for students in grades 6 through 8. I'd like to take this opportunity to explain the 6th through 8th grade program briefly. The program will operate at the middle school. 6th grade students will walk to the middle school for this program, but will in fact be transported on inclement weather days. The first portion of the program is either homework help or academic support, or students can choose to extend their music participation in either band, orchestra, chorus, or theater. These will operate on different days to give students the opportunity to select and participate in more than one. I also want to make it very clear that students will have the choice to also take 2 days of band, orchestra, chorus, or theater during the school day for our 7th and 8th grade students. And we are not limiting the participation in these areas, but instead we're actually expanding it. In addition, we've had a couple parents ask about the cost of these programs, and please understand that our music program is a non-fee based program, so there will be no costs associated with any of the band, orchestra, chorus, anything along those lines. It's just that we're packaging it within the Passport to Learning program for the purpose of enrollment and supervision in the most efficient manners. In this particular middle school program, we are also adding a new wellness strand that will take place after the music programs. That strand will actually encompass our intramural choices for students. We decided after speaking with some of our kids and also with a group of parents who will be entering the middle school next year that we wanted to diversify our offerings. So we're not actually going to be offering sports programs in the intramural portion of Passport to Learning at the middle school that are common recreation-oriented programs that the kids would normally be participating in already. We decided to focus more on life skill-oriented sports to expose children to things that are different. As a result, our middle school students will have choices such as tennis, cross-country, rock climbing, golf, volleyball, fencing, cricket, rugby, swimming, and kayaking throughout the year. Construction on our middle school indoor living classroom and our outdoor activity park will begin soon, with anticipated completion dates during the month of September and into early October. As you know, Brant was named a National School of Distinction through the Project Lead the Way STEM program. We're working very hard to ensure that all of our schools earn that same distinction next year, along with a full-blown math district initiative. I'm very proud to announce that the Project Lead the Way enrollment numbers at our high school in all 3 Project Lead the Way programs that we offer, engineering, computer science, and biomedical sciences, have more than doubled. And I'm also extremely pleased to report that our 2017-2018 AP Scholar distinctions at Hoboken High School doubled from that of 2016-2017. One last piece of positive news that I would also like to share is that Hoboken High School's official National Spanish Honor Society charter has been recognized, and we will begin this program next school year in conjunction with our recognition as a New Jersey Department of Education Seal of Biliteracy High School. So at this time, I would like to recognize the work of my Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Gerald Fitzhugh. He was and remains at this time a steadfast partner in our work, and I'm honored to have had the opportunity to work with him over the past 2 years in his capacity as Assistant Superintendent. As you know, Mr. Fitzhugh is making his way back to the Newark Public School District to take on the role of Deputy Superintendent in the Superintendent's Cabinet there. So as a result, I'm in the process of transitioning a new Assistant Superintendent. The search began, and immediately an internal candidate rose to the top of the list. I would like to welcome at this time our new Assistant Superintendent of Schools, or the individual that I am recommending for appointment in that capacity, Ms. Sandra Rodriguez Gomez. I'm going to ask Ms. Rodriguez Gomez to say a few words, but I do have to say that Ms. Rodriguez Gomez is relentlessly positive at all times. She's intelligent, she's innovative, and she's extremely strategic as a leader. Ms. Rodriguez Gomez has led our early childhood department with close to 900 pre-K3 and pre-K4 children, with close to 60 classrooms scattered throughout the city of Hoboken. Interestingly, though, over the years, Ms. Rodriguez Gomez's responsibilities have expanded. She began her journey here in the role of Director of Early Childhood Education, and kind of quickly found that she was also the principal of Brant Elementary School. Taking on that capacity with a kindergarten made sense. But over the years, as a result of our enrollment growth, Ms. Rodriguez Gomez's responsibility expanded, and each year a grade was added to Brant. Graciously, she continuously accepted the challenge of her role just ever growing and ever expanding. But we are at a point right now where Brant Elementary School is servicing not only 28 preschool classrooms, which is larger than some elementary schools across the city, but it's also serving well over 300 students in a kindergarten through third grade capacity. And as a result of our enrollment growth, Brant Elementary School has kind of transitioned from a primary school, and it's making its way to become our 4th elementary school in the district. This year it will service children in grades K through 3, and next year it will service children in grades K through 4 and then K through 5, so it's ever growing. As a result of the sheer numbers and the responsibilities that are associated with both the Director of Early Childhood as well as principal, we have made the determination that at this time it was time to separate the responsibilities and to hire a dedicated standalone principal for Brant Elementary School and to hire a dedicated Director of Early Childhood Education. So while I will introduce those individuals, at this time, if Ms. Rodriguez Gomez would like to say a few words, we would welcome that.
Absolutely. I certainly want to begin by thanking the members of the board, the Brant school community, who have been a family for the past close to 5 years, and certainly the parent community at large that I've had the opportunity to interface with in my role as Director of Early Childhood. But most importantly are the children and all of the amazing things that I've seen them do and create and present and explore. And so all of those things give me great honor. And standing here before you today and in front of my esteemed colleagues, it gives me great honor to have been selected to serve as your Assistant Superintendent. My past close to 5 years in the district have been characterized by transparency, a parental lens. As a mommy of a 9-year-old, Valentina is always the person that drives my decision making, and certainly respect for children. And you know, the collaboration that is critical to continue to grow the work that Dr. Johnson has started is something that I'm looking forward to and I'm supremely excited about. I want to say that I pledge to continue the standard that I hope I've set thus far, and continue to look at the work on a larger scale and with a broader stroke, so that we can bring all of the things that we know work well for children to all of the children of Hoboken. And so I'm so honored, I'm pleased, I'm very happy. I think my dad would have been very proud at this moment, and he's certainly watching from the sky, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. So this recommended transition kicked in a number of other transitions as well. So while we completed the search for assistant superintendent and it became apparent that the individual that would fill that role was Ms. Rodriguez-Gomez, it then brought us to the next phase, and that is that of principal of Brant Elementary School. So when we went through the process of filling the principal for Brant Elementary School, to be perfectly honest with you, immediately Mr. Charles Bartlett, the vice principal at Wallace Elementary School, came to mind. Throughout the process, Mr. Bartlett's intelligence, commitment to this school district, and his dedication to teaching and learning, pedagogy, curriculum development was by far something that we could not pass up in the district. So while the Wallace school community will be just not saying goodbye, but really saying congratulations to Mr. Bartlett as he transitions from Wallace to Brant, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask Mr. Bartlett to come up just to say a few words and welcome him through a recommendation process as the next principal of Brant Elementary School.
So first and foremost, I would like to thank the Board of Education for entrusting me with this awesome responsibility. I'm very eager and excited to begin my work at the Brant Elementary School. I have to extend congratulations to Ms. Rodriguez-Gomez, who has laid a tremendous foundation at Brant, and it is not lost on me that I have a fabulously stylish pair of shoes to fill over there. I would like to thank the Wallace School community for allowing me to become a member of your family for the past 3 years. The relationships I've built with the staff, with the parents, and most especially the children are some things that I will cherish for the rest of my life. I would like to especially thank Mr. Martin Shannon, who has gone from my boss to my mentor to my friend to my brother. Marty, I wish you the best of luck as you continue to advance Wallace's progress ever forward. I would like to extend my excitement to the Brant community, saying I cannot wait to get to know all of you. It'll take me some time to learn all the names, but I promise to give you each and every ounce of my purpose and my energy as I assume this very important role for the district. Once again, I'd like to thank the Board of Education for this opportunity, and as Ms. Rodriguez-Gomez did, I would like to thank my father, who passed away about 12 years ago. He's the reason I got into education, and I believe that he and Ms. Rodriguez-Gomez's father are both smiling at the same moment, so thank you.
So both of these transitions then kicked in the need to search for an early childhood program director. And as a result of that opening and that need, I made an internal decision to speak with our current middle school principal, Dr. Sharon Davis. She couldn't be with us this evening. Dr. Davis has extensive early childhood experience and in fact owned and operated a preschool for approximately 12 years. So after kind of facilitating a dialogue between Ms. Rodriguez-Gomez and Dr. Davis, it became fairly apparent that she was the right fit to fill the shoes, the other pair of shoes that Ms. Rodriguez-Gomez wore as Director of Early Childhood. So at this time, while she isn't here, I do congratulate and welcome Dr. Davis to the Early Childhood Department as she will service and lead our youngest children in the district. And so, as you know, if we transitioned our middle school principal, we needed to fill that role. So we began the process to hire a middle school principal, and kind of the same situation occurred when we looked at Mr. Bartlett for the role of principal at Brant. individual named Harold Abraham came across our desk for this particular position, my desk, and after some pretty lengthy conversations, discussions, and a formalized interview process, Mr. Abraham rose to the top to take on the reins of Hoboken Middle School. In some ways, not only is he taking on the reins, but he's actually going to be facilitating a new launch of Hoboken Middle School. There are a number of new programs, new curriculum documents that are going to be implemented, some after-school programs, all new in year 2 of moving our middle school from Hoboken High School to the Demarest School building. So I could not be more honored to welcome this vibrant, up-and-coming educational leader to our district. And at this time, I welcome Hal Abraham as our recommended middle school principal for the 2018-19 school year.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having me. I'd like to first and foremost thank the Board of Education for your vote of confidence. I am incredibly honored to be standing before you today. I live in the community, and I'm proud to be a Hoboken town member, and I'm so excited to take on this great opportunity. I plan to bring great passion, energy, and excitement to each and every day of work. And I look forward to the relaunch of Hoboken Middle School. And I look forward to enhancing the student learning experience for all students. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so 2 more. As we transitioned Mr. Bartlett to the principalship at Brant, it left his shoes to be filled at Wallace. So we began this search for a vice principal at Wallace. We interviewed a number of candidates, and at that time, Mr. Steve Dickerson, his candidacy rose to the top. Mr. Dickerson's passion in the area of social and emotional learning, restorative practices, as well as his previous experience with English language arts literacy and social studies, and his role as a Dean of Students and Programs, not only in the Hoboken Public School District, but also in districts outside, schools outside of Hoboken, kind of propelled him to the top of that list. We looked very closely for a partner to assist Mr. Shannon in our largest elementary school in the district. Wallace's enrollment next year has hit 736 students. As a result, it is a massive undertaking to lead a building of this size. It requires strategic leadership, and it requires collaboration and true partnership in every sense of the word. I could not think of a better partner to assist Mr. Shannon in this grand responsibility. So at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Steve Dickerson to come on up and just say a few words.
I want to first and foremost thank the board. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to add in the next chapter into my time in Hoboken. 2 years ago, I stood up here as the incoming Dean of Students, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was familiar with the district, but as I grew to become a Red Wing at the high school, I learned to really understand what it means to be in Hoboken. There's a true sense of family and togetherness and belonging, and as soon as I was here, I was welcomed. And not only welcomed, but I became part of the community. The families, the students, the teachers, administrators, and all the support staff have been nothing but a gift. So I'm truly honored to be able to now take that experience of seeing our students graduating and becoming more adults, more that we want them to become. Now I get the opportunity to see them from inception, from the largest school in the district. to be able to have the opportunity to interact with all different types of families and truly know what it means to be part of the Hoboken family. I have to thank Ms. Picapietra and Ms. Gullo for all the work that they've done with me and helping me understand what it means to be a leader. But also, Mrs. Shannon, I'm really looking forward to working with you. I've heard such amazing things that I know that the work that we will do together will truly make sure that the school propels forward. I have some really, really big shoes to fill, and I understand that. And I will be making sure I reach out to all of you to be the support that you've already been, but also have an opportunity to kind of put a little bit of me into the Wallace School. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And with each email and message that I send, I usually end it by saying, and last but not least, but I do truly mean that. Over the last couple years, I have watched Mr. Damien Arnone grow in not only his responsibilities, but also in his own leadership. Mr. Arnone was a guidance counselor at the high school when I first arrived and for years prior to that. And since the minute I arrived in the district, Mr. Arnone has taken on every single leadership opportunity that has been put in front of him. He is and has been a 10-month employee, yet he has worked probably more days and more hours than every 12-month employee in the district. Mr. Arnone has showed up to work every single day in the summer for the past 3 years. There is not a time that I do not email Mr. Arnone, whether it's at 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, or 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, where I'm asking for some sort of data for him to produce that he doesn't turn that task around immediately. Mr. Arnone's responsibilities have grown because mandates by the New Jersey Department of Education have grown. With the inception of the state's student information system and data collection program that the Department of Education requires all school districts to participate in, Mr. Arnone has taken on NJ Smart, which is a student information data collection system. In addition to the state portion of that, Mr. Arnone has been responsible for every federal data collection process, upload, submission that we have had over the last few years. Interestingly, Mr. Arnone also holds a Director of Guidance certificate and has been completely instrumental in moving our guidance department, particularly at the high school, from one level to the next. In 3 years, Mr. Arnone's work in designing everything from college visits to instant decision days has moved the needle for our students in terms of college and university scholarships, along with the partnership of the counselors in the school, as well as the administrators and staff, from $1.4 million in college scholarships to exceeding $13 million in just 2 short years. Right now, Mr. Arnone is working on a number of district-wide initiatives, which include a RAMP certification at both our middle school and our high school for a model distinction award for guidance services, and there's a host and a range of different things that he is doing. We are converting Mr. Arnone's position from 10 months to 12 months, and we are adding him to, officially, and we are adding him to our administrative team. I don't know of anyone that doesn't see the work that Mr. Arnone does and isn't honored just to be in his presence on a daily basis. So with that being said, Mr. Arnone, if you'd like to say a few words.
Good evening. Good evening, President Klemfel, board member, trustees, and Dr. Johnson. I would like to thank you for your trust and confidence that you have invested in me, and I look forward to continually evolving as an educational leader. As I am entering my 10th year in the Hoboken Public School District, I am forever grateful to all the students, parents, and staff members that I wholeheartedly worked with and continue to work with over the duration of my career. Guidance programs, like Dr. Johnson mentioned, are an integral part of a student's daily educational environment, and one of our goals is to develop a ramp status guidance curriculum that establishes a vision of excellence that is aligned with high standards and high expectations, which focus on success for all students and responsive to the emerging needs of students in the 21st century. I forever will call Hoboken my home, and I am anxiously waiting to start this school year. Thank you very much.
So, while change is never easy, it is absolutely the path to progress. I couldn't be more confident that the individuals that are sitting before you this evening and have briefly spoke will do nothing short of propel us to a new height, new levels, and help us achieve all of the goals that we've set forth for this district. I couldn't be happier to welcome this new group to our administrative team, and I hope that the board feels confident as well, and I look forward to the start of the 2018-2019 preparation for the new school year.
Thank you. We have a few other things to go through before we get to the voting on the appointments. So we got the business administrator's report.
Yes.
And you have some business to take care of here, right?
Yes, I do. Yes. Okay. So on tonight's agenda, Resolution 10.16, the Hoboken Board of Education is continuing a lease purchase financing strategy for facility and technology projects. The district lease purchased several projects over the last few years and included in 2016-17, replacement of the turf field at JFK Stadium, Wallace Gym renovations, high school science labs, high school robotic labs, floor refurnishing and replacement at Brant, and Brant toilet renovations. In 2017-2018, Demers technology infrastructure and upgrade included expanding the computer network to support instructional spaces, district-wide security system upgrade and expansion, computer network backup system upgrade, and new classroom interactive boards. This year, 2018-2019, the district will look to secure an equipment lease purchase to support this year's activities. The Board of Education will consider entering into an equipment lease arrangement in the principal amount of $575,000, which was contained in the 2018-2019 district budget. The bid opening was held today, Tuesday, July 24th at 1 p.m. We received 2 responses, and the winning recommended proposal from U.S. Bancorp will be at a rate of 3.1981% for a term of 5 years. The subject lease purchase agreement will allow the district to acquire Chromebooks, cards for district-wide use, purchase and install classroom interactive boards, expand existing network abilities to handle the use of mobile devices, and buy related network and computer system hardware. Also on tonight's agenda in the district's plan to address the reduction in 2018-2019 state aid, Resolution 10.15. Late on July 13, 2018, the New Jersey Department of Ed released guidance on how school districts were to handle changes in state aid. The Hoboken Board of Education will consider a plan that will cover this loss of $527,524 in 2018-2009 state aid by authorizing the submission of a request for withdrawal from the district's emergency reserve and transfer funds to cover the loss in state aid by August 1st as required. The plan will be to submit a request for this withdrawal to the New Jersey Commissioner of Education and the Hudson County Executive Superintendent of Schools. The emergency reserve level as of today is $580,000. The board recognizes in the subject resolution that this reduction in state aid is an unanticipated loss in revenue that was not included in the original budget certified for taxes and was outside the control of the school district. The subject plan will minimize the impact of the loss in aid by making resources reserved by the school district available in this emergency situation. The superintendent and business administrator board secretary, with approval of the subject resolution, will also be authorized to submit the request and effect the related transfer.
Okay. Thank you. We'll go on to committee reports. Ms. Delara's curriculum?
Oh, yeah. The curriculum committee met on July 19th. In attendance were Mrs. Khanna, Mr. Kupfel, Mrs. Angley, and Dr. Johnson. Several of the items that we discussed, Dr. Johnson mentioned in her superintendent's report. Just a few other items. We talked about LEAP curriculum, which will be available on our website before the program starts. And also we looked at the junior PGP program at the middle school. The course and the descriptions will also be on the website before the start of the school year. We also talked about our district enrollment update. As most of you would imagine, our enrollment numbers are up from last year to this incoming school year. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sobolev, you have a facilities committee?
The Facilities Committee met on July 18th. In attendance was Mr. Callaghy, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Klupfeld, Ms. Angley, Ms. Delara, and myself. There were no agenda items for consideration, but some of the committee discussed the following. At Wallace School, the district and the Hoboken Police Department will continue to review safe and secure drop-off and pickup options at Wallace School. For the security guards, we had mentioned last month about the training, so all district security staff have completed the training and passed their required assessments. There are a variety of projects being completed over the summer, including a new bathroom at the middle school, new compressors at the high school and Wallace, and the reconfiguring of office space in Demorest to accommodate our student growth. A boiler will be replaced at Connors School, and we are reviewing the boiler at Demorest, and alternate funds from the SDA are being explored for that use. As was mentioned, the living classroom, and outdoor activity area, the plans are almost complete and construction will begin soon. The living classroom will be a hands-on research facility focusing on the Hudson River. The space was designed in part with a partnership with Stevens Institute of Technology and will feature a touch tank, 4 large tanks for fish and other aquatic and marine elements, research labs, and movable classroom features to facilitate a variety of learning experiences. Although primarily for the middle school, it's kind of exciting that the district elementary schools will be able to come over and visit and have some lessons here too. Planning for the outdoor activity park at the middle school is ongoing. Possibilities being explored are built structures for games, climbing, and exercises, green space for yoga and gardening, reading and study areas, and flexible areas for outdoor lessons. So that's very exciting, and that should happen soon. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Finance Committee is Ms. Dekarian filling in for Ms. Angley.
Yes, thank you. The Finance Committee met on Wednesday, July 18th at 7:30 p.m. In attendance were Dr. Johnson, Mr. Moffitt, Mr. Cookfeld, Mr. Madigan, Ms. Angley, and myself. The committee reviewed all agenda items and recommends all for board approval. The agenda items that generated the most discussions were as follows. 10.02, approval of bills and claims report. More than 40% of the July bills and claims relate to payments made to early childhood providers, charter schools, and for district employee benefits plans. 10.04, approval of contracts. Contracts this month include those with Hope's Cap, Inc., and Mile Square Early Learning, the providers for our pre-K program, both of which are funded by state aid. 10.14, approval of donations. Thank you to Planet in Action and Troy Built Tools, in-kind award program for 2 leaf blowers, and to the Hoboken Police Civic Association and Hudson Coffee for 3 TACMED emergency trauma stations worth close to $1,800. We appreciate both gifts and the generosity of both entities. As we heard in the BA's report, we're going to talk a little bit about 10.15, acceptance of reduction in state aid. Based on the budget the Governor Phil Murphy signed on July 1st, overall state aid for school districts around the state is up. However, many districts, including Hoboken, will see a reduction in aid. The latest reduction in state aid for Hoboken Public School District is $527,000 for the 2018-2019 school year, or 5% of the budget. This reduction comes after the district's 2019 budget had been set and approved and programming planned for. As a result of this late change, the district plans to use reserves from the emergency fund in order to avoid this unanticipated reduction having an impact on programming. This latest reduction comes after 2 prior reductions in Hoboken state aid in 17-18 and initial 18-19 state aid. In 17-18, the district received an unanticipated reduction in state aid after the budget was approved and set in the amount of approximately $200,000. And as part of the state aid figures provided to the district as part of the 18-19 budget planning process, state aid was reduced by another approximate $200,000 from the 2017 and 2018 levels. One thing I think to note is that the state aid reductions do not have any impact on the pre-K funding. And then lastly, as also was talked about in the BA's report, 10.16, approval of lease purchase financing. This lease purchase is for technology items such as LED board, Chromebooks, LED boards, Chromebooks, and things of that nature in the amount of $575,000. In addition to the items that are on the agenda, the committee also reviewed a number of financial reports produced by the Office of Business Administration. Thank you.
Thank you. And now the Governance Committee. Governance and Personnel, Ms. Khanna.
The Governance and Personnel Committee met on Wednesday, July 18 at 6 p.m. In attendance were Ms. Soboleff, Ms. Evans, Mr. Klupfeld, Dr. Johnson, and myself, Ms. Khanna. The committee reviewed, discussed, and recommends all agenda items in Section 9 for approval. Most of the positions for 2018-19 school year have been filled. Major changes are the administrative shifts that Dr. Johnson has already spoken of in her report. Congratulations to each one of you. And lastly, Mr. Fitzhugh, we would like to thank him for all his hard work and dedication to our district. He is a passionate, strong, exceptional educational leader. He truly was an inspiration to and a motivation for our students and staff. He will be greatly missed. We wish him the best and continued success in his next steps. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes committee reports. Any questions for anybody? No? Okay. Then we move on to public comments on agenda items. Mr. Enrico, would you do me the favor of seeing if anybody signed up to speak? There's no one to speak. That gets us to approval of the consent agenda. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
That's
Second.
Ms. Delara was the motion as Ms. Soboleff. Any discussion? Nope. Then we can call the roll, please.
Yes. Ms. Delara?
Before I vote, I just wanted to congratulate everybody on your new positions. I'm very excited. I've met some of the new faces, and I've had a pleasure to talk to you and understand, and really excited about what you're going to bring to the district. And for the rest of you, I've worked with all of you, and you will be missed in the current roles that you're leaving, but the district is gaining really true, just wonderful leaders. And to Mr. Fitzhugh, just thank him, like Ms. Khanna said, for all his hard work. He will be missed, but he'll do great things in his new district. So I'll vote yes.
Ms. Khanna?
Yes, congratulations to each of you. We're very excited for next year. And yes.
Ms. Soboleff?
Yes, just a quick comment. We sit up here, some meetings for me are more fun than others. Some votes are, more fun than others. But this is, I was so honored. I even got a little verklempt here because it's to see this team together it's such an incredible thing to see your passion and how you care for each other and care for the district and your excitement. And huge congratulations, and I wish you well for the next year. Yes.
Mr. Carrion?
Voting yes, and also extending congratulations and well wishes to everyone in their new roles. Really excited for everyone and for all of our students and our district. Thanks for the passion and the hard work and everything that you do for our kids and our teachers.
Mr. Klupfeld?
I have to abstain on item 10.01. And then echoing the comments from my fellow board members, I heard two things tonight. One was increased enrollment, significant increased enrollment, which I think is not having to do with just changes in town population, but I think it has to do with what's going on in this district. And I think when I see what we're doing in terms of leadership in the district, I'm convinced we are poised for the new year and beyond to do some amazing things. So I vote yes. Did that motion pass?
Yes, it did.
Motion passes. Is there someone signed up to speak on agenda or non-agenda items, Mr. Enrico? No. I did have some final comments prepared just tonight, but they've also been stated by various other people. I would like to acknowledge the contribution that Mr. Fitzhugh has made over the past, what was it, 6 years here, four as principal at Thomas G. Connors, where he was indeed a life changer. I mean, the contributions that he made, not only to the hundreds of students that he affected on a daily basis, but you know, the part that he played in taking that school to where it is now. And then coming here to the district office, I think he just kind of continued that work and brought a lot of dignity and respect to professional development and curriculum planning. So, yeah, you know, we wish him well, but it's also with a little tinge of regret. He left behind some big shoes, big shoes to fill, but thank goodness, because I just heard that you need a pair of shoes, because Mr. Bartlett now has yours. So it all works out. So, unless there's any other comments from board members, I'd like to entertain a motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.